I am Dr. Nidhi Khare. Welcome to the lecture series Creating and Maintaining Organizational Culture. In part A of this lecture series, we got an understanding of how cultures are created. We explored where do cultures come from. If you remember, we discussed this because understanding this question is important so that you know how they can be changed. An organization's culture is shaped as the organization faces external and internal challenges, and it learns how to deal with them. That is why how our culture is created was very important, and that is why I took up this topic in the previous lecture. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to understand how our culture is maintained. Now, as a company matures, its cultural values are refined and strengthened. The early values of a company's culture exert influence over its future values. It is possible to think of organizational culture as an organism that protects itself from external forces. Organizational culture determines what types of people are hired by an organization and what types are left out. Moreover, once new employees are hired, the company assimilates new employees and teaches them the way things are done in the organization. We call these processes attraction, selection, attrition, and onboarding processes. As you can see here in this figure, you can see the attraction, selection, attrition, and onboarding processes. We will also examine the role of leaders and reward systems in shaping and maintaining an organization's culture. But we'll be discussing these two in the next lecture. It is important to remember 2 points here. The process of culture creation is in fact more complex and less clean than the name implies. And additionally, the influence of each factor on culture creation is reciprocal. For example, just as leaders may influence what type of values the company has, the culture may also determine what type of behaviors leaders demonstrate. Attraction, Selection, Attrition or ASA framework. Organizational culture is maintained through a process known as attraction, selection, attrition. First, employees are attracted to organizations where they will fit in. In other words, different job applicants will find different cultures to be attractive. Someone who has a competitive nature may feel comfortable and prefer to work in a company where interpersonal competition is the norm. Others may prefer to work in a team-oriented workplace. Research shows that employees with different personality traits find different cultures attractive. For example, out of the big 5 personality traits, employees who demonstrate neurotic personalities were less likely to be attracted to innovative cultures, whereas those who had openness to experience were more likely to be attracted to innovative cultures. And as a result, individuals will self-select the companies they work for and may stay away from companies that have core values that are radically different from their own. Now, of course, this process is imperfect, and value similarity is just one reason a candidate might be attracted to a company. For example, there may be other more powerful attractions such as good benefits. Candidates who are potential misfits may still be attracted to Google, for example, because of the cool perks associated with being a Google employee. At this point in the process, the second component of the ASA framework prevents them from getting in. The second component is selection. Just as candidates are looking for places where they will fit in, companies are also looking for people who will fit into their current corporate culture. Many companies are hiring people for fit with their culture, as opposed to fit with a certain job. For example, Southwest Airlines prides itself for hiring employees based on personality and attitude rather than specific job related skills which are learned after being hired. This is important for job applicants to know because, in addition to highlighting your job relevant skills, you will need to discuss why your personality and values match those of the company. Companies use different techniques to weed out candidates who do not fit with corporate values. For example, Google. Google relies on multiple interviews with future peers. By introducing the candidate to several future co-workers and learning what these co-workers think of the candidate, it becomes easier to assess the level of fit. The Container Store ensures culture fit by hiring among their customers. This way, they can make sure that job candidates are already interested in organizing their lives and they understand the company's commitment to helping customers organize theirs. Companies may also use employee referrals in their recruitment process. By using their current employees as a source of future employees, companies may make sure that the newly hired employees go through a screening process to avoid potential person-culture mismatch. Even after a company selects people for person-organization fit, there may be new employees who do not fit in. Some candidates may be skillful in impressing recruiters and signal high levels of culture fit, even though they do not necessarily share the company's values. Moreover, recruiters may suffer from perceptual biases and may hire some candidates thinking that they fit with the culture, even though the actual fit is low. In any event, the organization is going to eventually eliminate candidates who do not fit in through the process of attrition. Attrition refers to the natural process in which the candidates who do not fit in will leave the company. Research indicates that person-organization misfit is one of the most important reasons for employee turnover. Now, as a result of the ASA process, the company attracts, selects, and retains people who share its core values. On the other hand, those people who are different in core values will be excluded from the organization either during the hiring process or later on through naturally occurring turnover. And thus, organizational culture will act as a self-defending organism where intrusive elements are kept out. New employee onboarding. Another way in which an organization's values, norms, and behavioral patterns are transmitted to employees is through onboarding. It is also referred to as the organizational socialization process. Onboarding refers to the process through which new employees learn the attitudes, knowledge, skills, and behaviors required to function effectively within an organization. If an organization can successfully socialize new employees into becoming organizational insiders, new employees feel confident regarding their ability to perform. They sense that they will feel accepted by their peers, and they understand and share the assumptions, norms, and values that are part of the organization's culture. This understanding and confidence in turn translate into more effective new employees who perform better and have higher job satisfaction, have stronger organizational commitment, and longer tenure within the company. There are many factors that play a role in the successful adjustment of new employees. New employees can engage in several activities to help increase their own chances of success at a new organization. Organizations also engage in different activities such as implementing orientation programs or matching new employees with mentors, which may facilitate onboarding. What can employees do during onboarding? New employees who are proactive seek feedback and build strong relationships tend to be more successful than those who do not. For example, feedback seeking helps new employees. Feedback seeking is very important. Especially on a first job, a new employee can make mistakes and may find it hard to understand and interpret the ambiguous reaction of coworkers. New hires may not know whether they are performing up to standards, whether it was a good idea to mention a company mistake in front of a client, or why other employees are asking if they were sick over the weekend because of not responding to work-related emails. By actively seeking feedback, new employees may find out sooner rather than later any behaviors that need to be changed and gain a better understanding of whether their behavior fits with the company culture and expectations. Several studies show the benefit of feedback seeking for new employee adjustment. Relationship building or networking is another important behavior new employees may demonstrate. Particularly when a company does not have a systematic approach to onboarding, it becomes even more important for new employees to facilitate their own onboarding by actively building relationships. New employees may take an active role in building relations by seeking opportunities to have a conversation with their new colleagues, arranging lunches or coffee with them, participating in company functions, and making the effort to build a relationship with their new supervisor. So I hope you have understood very nicely and very deeply how important is seeking feedback and building relationships or networking. Now suppose you've got a new job. How do you get on board? Or what can organizations do during onboarding? How can organizations maximize onboarding success? Please think about these questions that I have just mentioned, and I'll be taking these questions in the next part of the lecture series, and I'll be also covering the third main and important part, which is recognizing organizational culture science. Thank you.